So that's pretty subtle, right? I'm going to do one more thing that really kind of comes forward. So those stripes are going to be a little bit more background, middle ground. So let me decide exactly what I want to do. And I think I just wanted to do more with the paper stencils and just focus on that technique on this piece. So I'm going to get a piece of newsprint. Now, like, part of me wanted to come and do something right around there that gets that circle composition back into it, but I think in the end I'll be more satisfied if I work with that grid and still try to downplay the scalloped edge. So I can do something like that, okay? And then if I put the underglaze here, I could totally get rid of all that. Like I could put black and cover it. I can do it in a more transparent way again, and you're building up those layers. I can also go with, like, that's going to make my shape by basically doing a background drawing, and the positive is going to be the color, so you want to think about the color. Or I could use this section of it and I could do this in a different color, and I think I'm going to do that. I think I just put this here, and what I think could be nice is to think about whatever color I use here, then maybe having come back out there, so then we create a little circle here rather than the circle all the way around. So it's a lot of design stuff, and you just have to think about colors work, how your eye travels around something, and also what are you cutting? What are your shapes? Are you doing, I mean, you could cut this out and carefully cut out a profile of a crane or a cow, or whatever it is you want to be drawing from as your own personal image resource. So those things I had you bring in, you will probably be looking at today and utilizing the books. And I kind of like how it naturally does that curve. If I didn't want that, I just snip the paper into sections and I piecemeal it together. And I do that on my own personal work a lot. If you look, I'll have a very curvy form, but then I'll have something that goes straight up it. And I just have to like figure out how that's working. Sometimes I will project a level, you know, or a beam, you know, that you use in construction, and then I can draw on it and I can get a vertical line right away. And then if I'm not doing a straight line, but it's something curvy, but I want it to seem very vertical, there is that assist. But I think right now I just enjoyed that natural swell that was happening. So I can think about how much of that. So I think I want it to go there. I don't care. I could concentrate and make it very symmetrical, or I could take it and shift it away from being a little bit symmetrical. I do too. So that's what I want you guys to think about. There's always the quick, immediate answer, following that line that's there, putting something in the center, and like get that answer and then say, okay, how can it shift just a little bit? Because that's when the work becomes a little bit more interesting. Somebody hesitates with it, they stay with it a little longer. What I am going to do is I'm going to cut off some of this excess so the paper can like open and swell a little easier. I don't think I have to make any complete cuts, but I'm giving it these little darts, slashes, so it can expand and swell with the form. So now I'm going to dip this in here. Let the drifts come off so I don't have drips going on over that, all over that. I'll just let that sit there for 1 second. I'm gonna pick another color. I'm gonna go with chartreuse. I think chartreuse will look nice. I'm super into chartreuse and turquoise right now. So I'm gonna have to get this over at the edge here. And I might even, sometimes I do this. I'm gonna have it on mist. That will help grab the paper. Make sure it's not a hard stream when you go to do that. The nice part about the sponge too is just like the 80s stenciling trend, like you can do it like that and you have that intentional building up and you'll get like directional line because of that. To get opaque layers, you have to let it dry in between. So, I mean, it's starting to dry over here, and I'm going to go again, and then I'm going to go with the sponge. I think I'm going to leave it like this.
Could you sgraffito through the light green back to the blue?
Yes. Now, it would probably be hard to get back to the blue. Chances are you would get back to the clay body. Yeah. It's such a thin layer to have that control. This is one of my favorite things to do because it's like so quick and immediate and satisfactory, which is very rare to happen in clay, to have something be like, oh, yes. So there we go. And I could do more with glazes and colored glazes. I could fire this and I could put decals over this whole section, and then you've got like, then you're thinking, okay, like then there's 5 layers in that little area. I would have the blue, like the blue-green, I'd have the light blue, I'd have the chartreuse, I could have a glaze, and I could have like dots going on in the glaze, fire that, come out and do decals. And then all of a sudden you get all of these layers happening, and if you get control with color and all of that, you can figure out like which ones you want to be coming